see. Meanwhile, hot celebrities and Home Depot and now HealthCare.gov, hackers are hitting everybody, including the United States government, which would be you. To former White House cyber czar Howard Schmidt, who has been seeing this play out again and again. In fact, he eerily predicted it. And small business owner Nate Bradley on the very high cost of that protection. Howard, what is going on here, and why now the HealthCare.gov site? What happened there?
Well, and that's the thing we don't know right now. I think the big surprise that I've had is it's taken 6 weeks from the time they apparently installed the malware on the system, exploited a vulnerability, to discovery. And the discovery was done, by all accounts, in a manual form. Somebody was actually looking at logs. When we have the technology, they can do what we call continuous monitoring. It's basically scanning the system, looking for anomalies, looking for vulnerabilities to get them fixed. So, but this is just one more step of the hacker assault in finding systems that are vulnerable and exploiting them.
Nate, why is there this lag that we find out? Oh, it happened a month ago. It happened 6 weeks ago. I don't even know what's happening now that I'm going to discover a month from now. Why?
Well, threat detection technology costs money, and deploying it is, in particular, if you look at our government struggling with this, companies as large as Home Depot struggling with this issue, and for small business owners, it's very naive to think that you could overcome the hackers on your own.
So what do? You
buy insurance, and you budget, and when you raise money, you allocate funds for this issue. You cannot do business in the space in any large scale on the internet or mobile without taking security first.
Yeah, but if the United States government can't police itself and protect itself, what I'm worried about, Howard, is that how are we going to be able to do it?
Well, and that's the point. The same vulnerabilities that exist in the consumer world, the small business world that we were just talking about, exist in the large enterprises like the governments. And the government has had plans. They've had the technology to basically stomp these things down. It's not whack-a-mole on, well, we get this one fixed and wait for it to pop up someplace else. We have to start executing on the strategies and the plans. The security people I talk to are just so frustrated that, there's always focus on something else, and security only pops up when something like this happens.
Who's doing it? I mean, I always wonder, and you and I were talking during the break, Nate, that I always get this feeling, maybe because I'm in this paranoid camp, that these happen so often and with such frequency that they almost feel like they're teeing up something.
Well, there's certainly an increase in the value of our data as we move healthcare and other things to the cloud, and we get more services that are internet and mobile based. The value of the data and the quantity of data is greater. And
to whom?
Well, individual groups that can benefit from access to that data, those that can broker and sell the data, individual organizations that, in particular with our government, that have a vested interest in attacking it.
You know what I worry about, Aaron? I know you and I have chatted before about this, is that the grand prize for bad guys, for terrorists, maybe for ISIS, for all I know and fear, is to zero out Americans' bank accounts, is to suddenly have them go to the ATM bright and early in the morning and discover that there's nothing in their account. Nothing would stop this economy like that, and they know it.
And one of the bad things about this, Neil, is they don't need the expertise. A lot of these things we're talking about now, whether it's Home Depot, whether it's HealthCare.gov or Target, whatever the environment might be, that information then gets publicized and is widely available. So they don't even need the expertise. They can see what others have done and just duplicate it. And then that worst case scenario that you and I have talked about, could very be a real situation as opposed to something theoretical.
Well, it had to become a big issue this week because Hollywood celebrities got involved, right? So that's going to make it a big deal.
Right.
Absolutely. And again, it comes down to the value of the data. Those pictures are valuable, and they've been monetized. And it's extremely unfortunate because... But
a rule of thumb should probably be not to upload nude pictures of yourself. Probably.
Well, in certain best practices, common sense weighs in too. But again, the responsibility for companies like ours is to provide a level of security for consumers and our customers. And
so if I wanted to send nude pictures of myself or upload it, you would protect me?
Well, in terms of a software as a service that provided that service, I would...
Don't you start wincing looking at me.
I appreciate what you're saying. It is something that's down to the individual level, and it
is ridiculous.
You'll be held accountable for what you upload. That's
Nate,
for sure.
Howard, thank you both very, very much. I'm sure
Pleasure.
next week we'll have you back on because next week there'll be something else new. Meanwhile, would you